Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. Sunday preview. Ying raises a storm in the old world. For years, the Empire of Grand Cathay has observed the rising threat of chaos in the old world. Now, under the personal supervision of the Storm Dragon, armies of Jade Warriors mobilized to quell this vile foe in new Arcane journal, accompanied by solo releases for the Battalion Box and Ying herself. Legion Imperialis also gets a fresh lick of paint as its army rules are revamped for the Legionnaires Astartes are reinforced with a wide selection of new tanks, all armed with devastating weapons. Alright, so we got a bunch of old world, including the Cathay releases, and then some Legion Imperialis as well. Let's take a look. So first we have Warhammer the Old World Arcane Journal, Dawn of the Storm Dragon. So this is going to have all of the rules for the Grand Cathay in the Armies of Old World. The Empires of Grand Cathay has made its move on the Old World, sending armies to do battle with the forces of chaos after Freydal the Chainmaker's attack on the northern reaches of the Empire. The 48-page supplement provides background information for the powerful Empire and examines the long-standing relations between them and the forces of the Old World. It also contains rules for the Jade Fleet Army of Infamy, a Cathayan force led by Ying and supplemented by Empire mercenaries, as well as rules for new magic items. A War in the Westerland section contains terrain generation rules for the Wasteland and Shadowlands, plus multiplayer games and how to link 3 new scenarios into a campaign with guidance for taking your narrative further. Alright, so very cool. Official rules for the Armies of Grand Cathay in Warhammer the Old World. And next we have the brand new and amazing model, Ying the Storm Dragon. So this is absolutely amazing. You're going to get like the dragon form and then also the like human-esque form. Beautiful new sculpts, awesome new models, absolute centerpiece for the Grand Cathay. And I gotta say, this is absolutely amazing. Commander of the Great Bastion and ruler of Northern Cathay, Ying the Storm Dragon is a cold and aloof being who has patiently defended the Empire for centuries at the request of the Celestial Dragon himself. With the threat of chaos rising in the west, Ying now rages abroad to proactively shut down its corrupting influences, utilizing her dragon form and mastery of the storm winds to devastate her enemies. As one of the scions of the Celestial Dragon, she is a force to be reckoned with a mere sight of her serpentine form causing foes to break ranks and scatter. The plastic kit contains 2 miniatures, Ying in her human form and her colossal dragon form. So absolutely awesome, beautiful model, coming in plastic. Games Workshop has knocked it out of the park with this, 10 out of 10. I love the human form, I love the dragon form, and I know this release is going to be super popular. Alright, and then next we have the box set with the Jade Warriors. So you're going to get 20 Jade Warriors in the box set, and you have multiple assembly options. So you have either the halberd assembly or the sword and shield, and then of course you have like upgrades for the musician, standard bearer, and leader. Jade Warriors are the core standing armies that defend the cities of Grand Cathay. Furnishing the fine weapons and heavy armor, they stand fast against their foes, whether protecting city walls or forming the core of a Cathayan battle line in some far-off land. This kit builds 20 Jade Warriors with enough command options for 2 units of 10. They can be armed with swords and shields or halberds, and every 5 miniatures in the kit there are 5 male and 5 female heads. On top of that, there are a range of interchangeable accessories, and the box also contains a Grand Cathay transfer sheet with 404 decals. And next we have the Jade Lancers, the cavalry of Grand Cathay. Heavy cavalry armed with large spears, Jade Lancers are line breakers of the great skill and discipline. These experienced riders are well versed in commanding their mounts to charge through the narrow city streets and other restrictive terrain, meaning little can get between them and their foe. This kit builds 10 Jade Lancers with enough command options for 2 units of 5. The box also contains a Grand Cathay transfer sheet with 404 decals. Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products including miniatures, terrain, paint, tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you. And then we also have the Grand Cannon and Fire Rain Rocket Battery. So we have the 2 different options here, the Grand Cannon and then also the Rocket Battery. And then we got some different options for the crew as well, including an Ogre. Very, very cool. The workshops of Nangao work tirelessly to create the powerful cannons and rocket batteries that give the armies of the Grand Cathay the edge in battle. Manned by disciplines of the House Smoke and Powder, the Grand Cannon and Fire Rain Rocket Battery unleash devastating storm from a distance, filling the air with acrid smoke as they unleash their destructive salvos. This kit can build 2 Grand Cannons or 2 Fire Rain rocket batteries or 1 of each. Both are accompanied by a crew that includes an Ogre mercenary for all those heavy lifting duties. So with the exception of Ying, all of these were previously offered in the box set, but now they're going to be offered individually. And then we have the Northern Provinces of Grand Cathay transfer sheet, so some beautiful transfers for your Grand Cathay army. And then we also have Preyton. From the deepest, darkest woods of the old world lopes the Preyton. Antlers cresting this monster's head betray its origins as a once noble great stag corrupted by the foul bray shamans and the beast herds. It uses its animal cunning to lure ornery foes to their death. And in battle, it sows chaos by tearing its prey apart with a malice that turns stomachs. This Forge World resin kit has rules in the Arcane Journal Beastman Brayherds. Alright, so a new character coming from Forge World in resin for Beastmen. Alright, and then moving over to Legion Imperialis, we have the Liber Strategia. List building in the Legion Imperialis gets an update with the Liber Strategia, a 240-page book that collects and updates previous contents from core rulebooks. The Great Slaughter, the Devastation of Tallarn, and the Rise of the Dark Mechanicum. It contains complete up-to-date detachments and formation for Legion Astartes, Sola Auxilia, Mechanicum Tagmata, Dark Mechanicum, Collegia Tactica, and Knight Households, the latter of which will replace the Strategic Assets rule from the Legion Imperialis rulebook, making it an indispensable resource for all Legion Imperialis players. Detachments from new Legion Astartes units seen below can also be found in this book. Alright, so basically like a collection or compendium of all the previous Legion Imperialis books, all packed into one for all the people out there that are a fan of this game and want to get all the most up-to-date and compiled rules. Here it is with the Liber Strategia. And then we also have the Mastodon Super Heavy Assault Transports, 2 of those coming in a box set. Then we have the Cerberus Heavy Tank Destroyer Squadron, 4 of those coming in a box set. And we also have the Typhon Heavy Siege Squadron, 4 of those coming in a box set. And then we have the Vindicator Siege Tank Squadron, 8 of those coming in a box set. And then we have the Whirlwind and Scorpius Missile Tank Squadrons, 8 of those coming in a box set with options for both. And then we also have order tokens and objective markers coming, a big box set with a bunch of tokens that you'll use for all of your orders and objectives in Legion Imperialis. And then we also have the formations and datasheet cards, so for anybody out there that's collecting the various formations or wants the cards, we'll have multiple different resources available. And then moving over to Middle-earth, we have the Gundabad Catapult Troll. So this was previously shown off quite a while ago. Absolutely awesome model right here, coming for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. Very, very cool. And then we also have the War Drakes of Ruin come in. And again, super cool right here. I love the lizards with the armor, the tactical rocks. Really, really nice models. So lots and lots of cool stuff coming up for pre-order this Saturday. Definitely the centerpiece of it all is Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon. I am super excited for this model. It is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see the community get their hands on it and the paint jobs that they come up with. I love the human form. I love the dragon form. Games Workshop has crushed it with this. And then we also had the full rules coming for Grand Cathay. And then the individual releases. Lots of stuff coming for Legion Imperialis. Some cool stuff coming for Middle-earth. Definitely a big week for Warhammer releases. Let me know what you're most excited about, what you're going to be picking up this week. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.